Behind me, I have a group called Perfect Gentlemen. And of course, they have to be perfect gentlemen. They're not old enough to be anything but perfect gentlemen. Say hi. Tell me your names.
Hi, I'm Tyrone Sutton.
I'm Corey Blakely. And I'm Maury Stott Jr.
Why do I think all the female fans I'm going to have to scrape off the television after this?
Men don't even ask if it's theirs in bed anymore.
Yeah, we kind of realize we're renting now. This is a rental.
Women. I'm in the mood. I'm there. I'm like, sure. Tomorrow it's not going to be, but today it is.
For many of us, this is where we started.
Single mothers right now hustling for Christmas clothes. Why? Why do we have to be this way? Why is there a culture of dehumanizing single mothers? Because I mean, there are women who became single mothers because they left very abusive marriages. There are women who became single mothers because they lost their husbands. There are women who became single mothers from very serious circumstances that they didn't plan for.
For many of us, this was our baseline thinking before we entered this space. We thought that we have to have a level of grace no matter what decisions women made in their lives previous to us. But what we've come to understand is that this kind of thinking actually is dangerous for men. But we also have to remember where this thinking came from. And it's not recent. It's implanted in all of us.
I don't know why they should be dehumanized and stereotyped as sexually active, degenerate prostitute women. Even if a woman became a single mother because she was promiscuous, they don't deserve this level of shame and disgrace, especially if you're pro-life, because what you see is a woman who was promiscuous, a woman who lacked morals. What I see is a woman who decided to keep that child, even though she had the option to abort that child. We cannot be against abortion and shame women who keep children. And just because a woman is a single mother does not mean that she's a prostitute. Just because she's a single mother does not mean that she lacks morals. Men who participate in shaming single mothers like this should be very, very ashamed of themselves. And this is why I hate the red-pilled ideology. The ideology that when a woman becomes a single mother, her value drops down irredeemably is not true. That is a lie.
I remember the day
It was oh so sad. She was the sweetest, dearest friend
I ever had.
She could talk to me almost any time. And at the end of the day,
I felt fine.
y'all know her mother.
Whoa.
The news to my heart, she said they're leaving, and now I'm torn all apart. I think I'll never forget that day, and for you, girl,
This is all I have to say.
if you're not familiar with the song Ooh La La by Perfect Gentlemen, you probably need to turn to your 1990s card. Because if you were a guy that was in junior high school, and you had a crush on a young girl, there is a 115% chance that not only did you hear this song on the radio, but you were singing it in the shower, when you were getting ready for school, when you were putting your clothes together. You knew this song, especially in that time when love was very innocent and cute. 1990, release date of Ooh La La. Just a short 2 years after the 1990 release of Ooh La La by Perfect Gentlemen, we get TLC singing Baby, Baby, Baby. I can have any man that I want to, time or place that I choose to, but I think you know I'd rather be here with you. That's actual and factual. You're the one I seem to run back to just to get me off. You got to love me. And just like that, the teeny bop romantic era was over, and the age of acceptable social promiscuity was here.
Get the new iOS. Update your dirty talk. Yeah, don't say, is this mine's anymore. There's other things you can say.
No, we got to get back to saying, is this mine? Because we got to be back in delusion. Like with the out in the 90s, figuring out the really liked them and was sticking outside in the rain. And it's like, you know what? I really love you.
Game done changed.
Never ever raw dog in a one night stand. The truth comes out. Hey, was he hot?
I'm not gonna lie, yeah, he was good.
Good looking guy.
Game done changed.
Let's go. Go. Nope. This is my pet. This is my pet. I own the slave, okay? It's my and Pachan world domination.
Game done changed.
All these younger men in that 35-ish range, even a little younger than 30, they are a lot more mature than a lot of these men who are 45 and up.
Yeah.
They're not stuck in their ways.
Yeah,
they are very flexible. They open doors. They know how to date. They are actually hunters like men used to be.
Game done changed.
They want you to finance their autonomy, as Z said. Yeah,
it still have my autonomy, right? Yep.
Yeah. You remember the Garfield cartoon where John was sleeping and it was time for Garfield to eat? He grabs him by the collar, wakes him up.
The game is the game, man. I just want guys to stop, recognize the game and don't feel bad about it, man. They feel guilty. I wanted to love me for me. I mean, shut the fuck up. The incel, that's what they're upset about. I wanted to love me for me. Shut the hell up, man.
Alexa, play DeBarge Love Me in a Special Way, please.
Yeah.
Do you have your passport?
Game done changed.
Used to be, I guess I'll go.
I got makeup on your jersey.
I can't believe you.
Hey, good luck.
Thank you, love.
Game the same, just got more feds.
The question posed to this gentleman from two other panelists mirrors the sentiment that we heard from the gentleman previous, that shouldn't men in the dating game that don't have any children have a level of grace and acceptance for women that have become single mothers because of all of the difficult possibilities that brought them to that particular place in their life? And his response is, tell us.
But it is a good question,
right?
Shada.
Yes, these are good questions.
Yeah.
But now, when you start asking these questions, and when we look at the statistics, right, you'd find that majority of women, right, they lose their virginity voluntarily. So this is a question of just what? Trying to counter them not being able to be what?
So
to be pure. But now, if that happens to you,
can we give those women a pass?
Now, if that happens to you, that's when we start saying what? Life is unfair. Me, I'm an innocent man. I'm not supposed to be the one to save you from whatever that happened to your life. For me, I'm going to pick what? A virgin. Simple as that. Why do you expect men to save women? Men to understand women's past. Men to understand women's stories. When these women say they don't want a broke guy, do they even care to understand that, okay, maybe this guy was born from poor parents. Maybe this guy came from a family, we'd say, a family with no connections whatsoever. Do they ask themselves, maybe this guy was an orphan? Do they ask themselves, maybe this guy is not able to catch a break? Do they ask themselves that? They still want what? A rich man. They don't give a shit about your story. Why should men give a shit about women's stories?
Believe it or not, I can't get over you. You are my everything, what a dream come true. What I feel for you is really hard to explain. I'm in love, girl. I'll never feel the same. You and me can save our love. We'll be together one day like hand in glove. All I have to say is I'll wait forever and a day. This is where we came from. And so you can understand why there's so many people that are still preaching this kind of message that you can love a single mother. You can make it work. You can have a family with her.
It's a whole nother world for women right now in the sense of how they keep themselves up. And so there is no competition for us when it comes to young women, because we really are those women, like that 35 to 45. And I've even seen women at 55 where I'm like, sis,
I've seen them.
What are you doing? And Tracy Ellis is one of them.
Oh, man.
Most of the women who are gorgeous and still doing their thing and have that glow, they ain't been married and they don't have no kids. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah. We out here glowing.
I'm a proponent of black men traveling for a variety of reasons. I'm sure guys want to travel to date young ladies or date for new experiences, but here we're hearing one from this gentleman, and that's just getting different viewpoints on life. This gentleman is unabashed about what he wants. He's not going to be guilt-tripped into the market or people telling him you should want a single mother because you got to feel sorry for her, when he's essentially saying under no circumstance do women look at men and feel sorry for them and say, I'm going to be pitiful of him because he had a difficult beginning. They're simply saying, where the money at? So he's essentially the kryptonite to what we're hearing from Cheyenne Bryant, who's essentially trying to sell to guys, hey, listen, 35, 45, into the 55s, girls are banging or women are banging. They're better than the 20-year-olds. And it might work on some of us because we grew up singing Ooh La La and watched that young girl that we fell in love with walk away with the football player or the guy that had a car while we were in high school catching the bus. And this gentleman is saying, hey, listen, I want what I want. That's not a me problem. That's a y'all problem.
One drunk man.
I got some for my Japanese fans. I kind of let them down last time. And they asked me what I had on my tape last week. So, Boku no hitari wa Gojira desu. Migi wa Kaiju o desu yo.
For you guys that know me, you had to know that I was absolutely ecstatic when I came across this clip. I was so excited. Generally, we see these stereotypical portrayals of black men that the networks are so excited to show everyone. But here, we get Myles Garrett, one of the best players in the NFL, speaking Japanese, man. How awesome is that? He said, Boku no hitari te wa Gojira desu, or I have Godzilla on my left arm. Maybe I would have said, Watashi no, actually I would have said Ore, because, I mean, he's one of the best players in the league. Ore is like one of those manly words. Ore no hitari te ni kaite atta no ga Gojira desu. Then he said, Migi te wa Kaiju o desu. And Kaiju means monster, Migi means right, and O means king of. So on my right hand, I have king of the monsters. Now, that's not your typical post-game interview, especially when they're interviewing black men. So it's a clear signal, hey, listen, whatever box you're trying to put black men in, you need to rewrite that box because we are stomping that box and we are opening it and we are showing the world that whatever you want to show people in these movies that black men are degenerate, nah. And I appreciate Myles Garrett for this because essentially what he said is all your little stereotypes of black men, not today. Not today.
Boku no hitari wa Gojira desu. Migi wa Kaiju o desu yo.
And that says?
On my left hand is Godzilla. On my right is King of the Monsters. That's what I think I am.
Some might say that the age of the perfect gentleman has ended. I would say that instead the perfect gentleman has stopped being a simp, he's stopped accepting less, and he's started enforcing his standards. And if his standards are, I don't want a baby mother, I don't want someone that's dealt with a past that may need some therapy, or someone that's going to bring trauma into my relationship, then you're going to have to move differently because in this modern dating scene, there are a lot of young ladies with at least relationship trauma, if not much more. And if there's anything that modern dating has taught us is that inviting a woman that's dealing with emotional trauma that is quote unquote emotionally damaged into your life thinking you can fix her, especially if she already has a child and maybe you have another child with her, that is just inviting a lot of difficulty and heartache into your life. And there are many examples to prove it. Many well-meaning men that tried to do the right thing and at the end they just got sunk. And so after a couple of generations of that, more and more men are simply saying, hey, listen, SYSBN passport bros, or even guys that are deciding not to date are saying, listen, I have my standards, and if you can't meet my standards, I don't even see any reason to stick my toe back into the water. It's not that those men stopped being perfect gentlemen. They just started being gentlemen that aren't simps. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.